field, or it's a vision that you have in it. When you're building a garden, you have a vision. Whatever you do, you have a vision. But all these things right here, but you've noticed again that I placed it on the very bottom. Because how many times in reality, the most important thing in our life is placed at the very bottom, comes down to it. What does God say? Well, what would happen here now if we took this lens, we've invoked the principle. And the thing is that, remember this, if I ever tell you anything, what is the only thing that God has to honor? That's it. He don't have to honor your prayer request, because I may pray every day that I'm as cool and sexy as a combination of Artie and Lance. So Chase, can you imagine taking Artie, a clone of Artie and Lance, and splitting them together? Artie's idea, he's going to make a clone one time. He's going to grow these two plants together and intertwine them. The problem is they're two separate plants still at the end of the day. They just intertwine. Imagine taking clones, taking Lance and Artie, and genetically splicing them together, and it'd be me. It would be me. I would be the image, because I've got an image of these two people in my mind of all their attributes that I want. And I can pick out the attributes that I want, because there's attributes of both of y'all that I want, that I would love to have. I would love to be as charismatic as Artie. I would love to be as focused on your dreams as what you're driven by. But the other side of it is, I don't want the byproducts of either one of them. I don't. I don't even want the byproducts of me. Instead, I want to figure out what God wants. But yes, he says, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. And what else does he say? All these things. When you start lining yourself up with God first, and you start putting God's vision first, and you start seeking God's vision, you've enacted this thing. When you start looking for God's vision and what God wants you to do, and start opening yourself up to what God wants to do, and start pursuing his thing, everything now is going to have the touch of God upon it. Even when it's crap, you will have the touch of God upon crap. Because he says, I know the plans that I have for you. They are to prosper you. That means you will have peace when you're dealt a pile of crap. Amber and I sit there this morning. We're talking about a thing that we're going through as a family. And she says, it ain't on me. It ain't on her. I have not done the offense. I will not do the offense. She is responding as God would tell her to respond. When I want to respond with my little smart words, so I used two words yesterday. And I want to put you on this last focus here. Remember, words are what? Words are spells that either are designed to harm you or to bless you. Consider that. Always think about these things. When somebody is saying something to you, ask yourself this question. What kind of spell are they trying to put upon me? If you filter this from that aspect, you are looking for it now. Versus just sitting here hearing the word and they're bouncing off of you because you don't think about the intent of the word. In reality, when you start looking at every word as if it contained the power of either destroying you or lifting you up. Because guess what? That's what their intentions are. So when somebody says something and you respond as such, what did I say? I understand. I understand. But what if I wanted to cast a spell on this? Somebody has done something to me. And I don't want it to go on further. I say, okay, I understand. I understand. I understand if Zeke lied to me and he says, Monty, something, I'm like, okay. What did I do? I didn't call him out.
You acknowledge.
I acknowledge. I understand. I understand. Is that any form of retaliation? Is there any form of discussion in this? I know where I'm at. I understand. I know where I'm at. I'm moving on. I understand that here is Zeke and I. We were traveling down the road together. We get a divide. Guess where I'm going? Guess who's no longer walking beside me? Because guess what? I understand. I understand where you're at. I understand what you're saying. I understand how you feel. I understand the parameters for our relationship. I understand. I'm moving on. When somebody does something to you, and you get to understand, I have not cast the spell for them. I want to cast a spell. Ready for this? Close my eyes. I'm not reading. Now, Jimmy, you noticed that even the words, the inflection of the words just changed? Now, notice my glance, my glare. What am I wanting? What am I doing? I'm invoking.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm invoking. Now I understand I'm casting the spell of invocation. Well, that ain't a real thing. When King Solomon had finished the temple, he invoked the presence of the Lord. He stood, he says, I invite you into this. Come now. I invoke you into this. That was a spell. You call forth God's presence into the temple. And it said, and he fell down as a fire suspended, and it lit the fire. Now I understand. Invoke something. Now changes you to what? The aggressor. The aggressor. You didn't turn the other cheek. You're now the aggressor. You're wanting to create a response. See that? I'm casting the spell of invocation. I'm casting the spell. I invite you to answer this one. I don't know what you got to say about this. What do you mean now you understand? Because that's how you always answer, right? Huh? What do you mean now you understand? But you realize the problem is that when you did and you added this word, you know what you did. You know why you said it. Because you want to fight. You want to argue. You want a response. I want you to do this. I dare you to. Prove to me. Magic word. Oh, you trust me? I promise. If somebody says, I promise, and you can trust me, guess what? They're getting ready to lie to you. Because when I got to use these words, that means you don't trust me. The Bible says, let your word be yes.
So if you swear, ain't nothing but evil will come from.
So I chose last night because there was a situation that came up. Choose you this day whom you will serve. Understand? Do you see that? I just changed that. The whole wording, the whole phrasing just changed. See, some of us need to get off the nouns. Because all we're doing is expecting someone, because we want to prove to me. If you have to ask somebody to prove to you, you're still holding on to something that is useless. What happens if you quit?
Oh, I understand.
Oh, I understand.
I understand now.
Either way,
Yeah.
anything you add to that is a invocation to a response. You're provoking. You're challenging. But it's displaying a weakness of your character. Because you have to be. You can't.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's just like that word hydrophobic. I understood kind of understood what it was meant because I go in water and stuff. But really, I look at it going, oh, and the little, what you said over here, oh, now I understand. It basically wasn't a negative, it was a positive. Oh, maybe that's why my doggone plants are not growing. Now I understand. Thank you.
But again, the connotations. The thing is that what is the spell that you realize, Artie, you just used word to create an independent spell separate from the intentions of where you want this to go. Understand that words are spells. Words display your real character. When you can choose to say, I understand where we're at. I'm never going to see you beyond this point. It's sad. But you are the kind of person that honestly, I don't need anyone. You bring this into my life, and your vision is not mine. We can't share a vision. We can't walk down this road together. So it's sad, but if you're not going along the same vision, because they have their vision, you have your vision, and if y'all can't share that vision, that's the whole point of the church, is sharing the vision. Getting a vision we can all share. So, I don't want this time up here to be my venting time, my time of where it's all about money, what money wants to accomplish, what money wants to say. If I ever get that way, I hope that you would be honest enough with me to say, money got a problem. You're going the wrong area, or money. Be honest with me. Not do it in public. Don't cut me down in public, because it don't hurt. I'm a redneck. I'm a farmer. I'm a city. I work. I wish I could hide my emotions better. I do. I wish I didn't care as deeply as I care. I wish I wasn't as soft as I am as far as emotions do. I wish people didn't hurt me like they did. The soft hearts cut the deepest. And that's what I am. I get cut deeply, and it hurts. It hurts for a long time. So if you got an area or got a problem with me, be considerate, because I'm going to try to be considerate of you. I'm going to try to think about you. I'm going to try to think about what you want, what you don't want. But at the same time, I don't want to hamper your growth. Again, I want to know that spiritually we're being challenged. I also want to know your thoughts, because if I know the areas that you want to go in, Amber and I had talked about the Apocrypha. Why was the Apocrypha left out? Why did one guy, Lance, make the decision to pull it out? What's the history of King James Bible? And it will tell you the story of the dude's name, Artie, who finished the final transcription, wrote and he was the guy who was really responsible. Rory, would you trust that one guy had the power to make decisions for the best of things that I want to know? Mm-mm. What do we have a government for?
What's the Apocrypha?
Huh?
You need to say what the
Does anybody know? Does anybody not know what the Apocrypha is?
It's hidden word, and
It's the books that were taken out of the Bible.
Wow. Thank you.
Exactly. But don't you have a problem with that?
Yes.
here's a sign of what's important.
Therein lies my problem.
You know, it also says in the Bible that nothing shall be taken away or added to, and they took it away.
So, ask yourself this question. This is the thing is I think spiritually we need to grow into. You know, I think y'all don't know what I just said. I look at the speaker back here, and all I see that guitar strap, but all I see, Chase, was a raccoon sitting on there. There's a raccoon there. So, I guess I'm fix now. But, and no, I'm not 100%.
That's why a lot of people that I talk to don't think, and I tell people all the time when they ask about it, ask about your faith. I'm not faith, I'm not faith with anybody, but they say, I can't believe in that Bible because of the fact it was written by a man.
Therein lies the problem.
I know.
You're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
The thing is that we don't want to explain